carry out attacks on India as well. Abhishek, my colleague, joining us, getting us more details. But before that, let's take you through what this entire toolkit really looks like, what this plot of this particular so-called media organization really is. This is what intel sources are now telling CNN News 18. Now, the Kashmir Media Service is a news portal, or they claim to be a news portal, that's run by Pakistan's ISI. This is what this dossier that we've accessed now goes on to say. There's anti-India and pro-separatist content that is published on this particular website. That's the only intent of this website. It publishes falsified and distorted facts on Kashmir, lectures India about the alleged ill treatment of Muslims in Kashmir, all of which is far from the truth. This news portal is used to mislead the international community and ratchet up the entire Kashmir narrative like Pakistan has done time and again on multiple global fora. What this website then intends to do is defame the government of India, government of Jammu and Kashmir via this portal they claim is a news portal. Then it goes on to defame J&K Delimitation Commission as well. Remember, elections are impending in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The delimitation process was taking place. There were rants against that as well on this particular portal. Terms like the Indian state terrorism in IIOJK, the Indian brutal tactics, these are the kind of terms, these are the kind of terminologies that they refer to on this particular website only to push forth false narrative about Jammu and Kashmir. False info on conversion lynching is also published specifically to Jammu and Kashmir. There are several other inferences to India as well. It furthers secessionist agenda against India. That's the only purpose of this particular website, is what we're now learning from our sources within the intel agencies. There is a radio portal as well on this website which is used for attacking India, which is used for anti-India tirade and only to further that agenda. Abhishek now joining us, getting us more details. Abhishek, this is a website that runs under the garb of a news website, but its only intent is to peddle false information, is to peddle misinformation, and it's not surprising that Pakistan is doing so.
Well, Poonam, this website is run by a bunch of separatist leaders or sympathizers. Many of them have migrated from Kashmir to the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and now they are running this whole propaganda machinery with the help from Pakistani agencies, state agencies like ISI. Their content has mostly criticized India and its policy towards minority and towards Kashmir. The content is, totally pro-separatist, and since its inception, this news portal has purely dedicated to, itself as a separatist movement, what they call freedom movement of Kashmir. This news website has been presenting falsified and distorted facts and analysis pertaining to Kashmir, and from time to time carries self-complicated and fabricated news articles also around Kashmir issues. The editor is somebody who was from Baramulla, but now he is living in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and we can totally understand how a person living in Pakistan occupied Kashmir can be very well supported and supported by these state agencies, and they are spinning that anti-India agenda and propaganda.
Right, Abhishek, do stay on with me. Security analyst Pathikrit Payne also joining us on this broadcast. Pathikrit, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Details are now trickling in of this proxy war in the digital age that Pakistan seems to be running. Not surprising at all, the kind of tactics that it's employing in this kind of cyber warfare.
Well, apart from the stated objective of, waging war to bleed India with 1,000 cuts, apart from using sub-conventional methods, one of the one of the tools that have been used by Pakistan for a long time has been the disinformation warfare campaign, and through which they try to make the fake narrative look real. So it has been going on for several decades now. It's only probably in the recent past, in the last few years, that we as a country have started taking counter-information warfare or countering the disinformation warfare more seriously than we did in the past. So I think it's a continuous war, and because of the proliferation of social media, because of YouTube, because of other means through which you can directly reach out to the mass without by bypassing all the censors, it's not very difficult for them to do it. But we have to be constantly on the edge that it is not just about combating terrorists and their masterminds, but also about making sure that the brainwashing propaganda and the tactics they use on a continuous basis, that is kept, a lid is kept on that. We have to remember that the whole Khalistani movement was created through those disinformation warfare they started a long time back. And I think this disinformation they have continued as they find it more difficult to counter India through terrorism. This disinformation has become a major tool for them. Government of India has from time to time taken action in terms of banning many of those sites, but it's a continuous process, and we have to be far more careful in the in an era of artificial intelligence and dark net and dark web. So it's a
Yes.
continuous battle, and I think we have to be far more agile in this.
Yes, more steps need to be taken, especially on the global fora, isn't it? Because this is the kind of rhetoric that Pakistan whips up every once in a while as far as the global forums are concerned, ratcheting up the Kashmir rhetoric. Once again, websites like these are aiming to do exactly that. So India may try and, sort of block these websites here in India, try and put forth its narrative. But what happens when these kind of fake, misinforming news articles, as they claim to be, are published worldwide?
You have asked a very valid question, and that there comes the role of the embassies of India across all the countries, major countries, and the embassies have to counter it on a day-to-day basis, on a periodic basis, and you have to find out how those journalists are getting planted in Western newspapers. Where are those sources? Unfortunately, on many occasions, when the Western journalists write articles, they resort and refer to these dubious websites and what is published over there. So, when it comes to the work of embassies across the world of India, it's not just about going out and reading out something. It is about making sure that you collect these grassroots intelligence about how the war of narrative is being fought out, who are the key players, how these narratives are being created, how the funds are coming for this creation of narratives, who are getting influenced, and how it is impacting India in terms of business, in terms of foreign direct investment, in terms of perception being created about India. So I think when it comes to these issues, India has done a lot of good work in the last few years. There is a Directorate General of Information Warfare that has been created under Indian Army. But I think overall, as a country, we have to take this information warfare far more seriously than we take right now, because we have been able to defeat them in conventional war. On issues of terrorism, we have an upper hand now in countering it, but it is the war of narrative and countering fake narratives.
And these kind of proxy wars that Pakistan
more.
seems to be waging, Pakistan seems to be having the space to wage this kind of war, this kind of narrative war that they are building up against India across the world. That is something that needs to be stopped. Pathakrit, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. On that note, we're slipping into a quick break here on this edition. Back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.